Hey guys, here's Heiko. Still fiddling around with my R90. I just did another mod to this motorcycle, which we'll see if I like it. I'm still a little bit torn about it. I modified my bench seat. The bench seat here is not an OEM seat. It's a aftermarket. I bought it from a German supplier. It's BMW buyer.de. They sell to the United States. They ship here too. And this was the least expensive OEM, somewhat looking bench seat that I could get. There's another place on eBay that sells seats that are made in Vietnam, I believe. They're also really nice, but they're just not quite OEM looking enough. They have one that's really similar to this, but I just wanted, I decided for this one. The price was right. If I remember correctly, I paid probably $260 plus $20 shipping, which is much cheaper than a BMW equivalent. It's actually really nice. I mean, you see the aluminum trim here that's on there. The chrome handle is on there. The design that I chose is actually for an older bike. It's for a /5, but I didn't care. I wanted this rather than the perpendicular stripes or the fake stitches. It comes with here, let me zoom out a little bit. Yeah, oh, we were already. So it comes with hinges. They are not the OEM style hinges. The OEM style hinges look completely different. They're a little skinnier. They have 3 little screws that mount. So it is a little different. And what bugged me about the seat the most was once you have it installed and the hinges are on the little pins that are attached to the subframe, you can flip it open, but it wouldn't, first of all, it wouldn't stay open by itself or barely, depending on if the driveway is perfectly level. And if you then take the little safety clips that go on the pins and hold the hinges in place, I wouldn't be able to take the seat off. So you take the little safety pins off, I couldn't take the seat off. Just because the hinges are just too tight around the subframe pipe. So it wouldn't help you taking those safety pins off or those clips. I still wouldn't be able to remove the seat. There online, I found a write-up about how to modify the seat to make it just a click-on seat. And I just did that and gave it my own little twist. So now I'm going to show you. So you unlock it on this side just as usual, and then pull it straight up. And what I did here, let's not mess up the bike. Let's do like that. So what I did here, I took the hinges off, and it just so happened that one of the 4 bolt holes that hold the hinges on line up perfectly with this hole here in the subframe. So on this side you have the latch. On the other side, I don't even know if you can see it. Let's move you in a little bit. There you go. So here on this cross member, on this side you have your locking mechanism, and on this side you have a hole that's already there from the factory. And so we look at the underside of the seat. This pin here, sorry, it's all one-man show here. So this locking pin is just like on an OEM bench seat. It has this big rubber bumper, and then it has the notches to lock into your latching mechanism. On the other side are the hinges, and as I said, they are not the OEM style hinges. They only have 2 bolts, and it just so happened that one bolt hole with the thread insert lines up perfectly with this hole. The bottom is not a metal pan. So the original is a steel pan. No, actually, I take this back. Is this metal or not? Back here, it looks like it has welds. But I'm not 100%. No, it is metal. there's some paint coming off. I can see the shininess. So this is a metal pin apparently. And yeah, this bolt hole here, it's a forward hinge. The backward bolt hole lines up with the hole in the subframe. So now I'm gonna just show you my little setup. Here is my 10mm wrench and my Allen key. So just unlock this. So I use stainless. This is M6 by 45 or 50, I want to say. So I use an M6 bolt, a piece of metric German-made high-pressure fuel line from my VW bus. So this is high-pressure fuel injection fuel line made in Germany. It still says Mini on it. It's 7 by 13, so outside diameter is 13mm. Put one little washer here on this side, put a nut on it, and then I have a nice big washer that goes against the seat pan. Then I just loosely screwed it in. And then since I didn't want to pinch the hose down too much because then it gets thicker and thicker and thicker, it might not fit through the hole, I just did that and then ended up tightening the whole contraption with a 10mm wrench like this. Then I put a little bit of some fluid film. Fluid film is one of my favorite corrosion inhibitors and lubricants. It is protects all metals. It's lanolin based, which is wool fat, I believe, or wool wax. Superior lubricant, no solvents, so it's not attacking rubber, plastic, or your seat for that matter. Non-toxic, non-hazardous. So you can literally smear that on the rubber. It keeps the rubber happy and it makes it slide in and out of this hole because the 7 by 13 fuel line, high pressure fuel line from Germany, fits pretty snugly in here. Of course, this is going to wear a little bit, so the powder coating that's here on the inside of the hole is going to wear out a little bit, and the rubber is going to give way a little bit, but then I can always snug down the bolt against my nut and squeeze it a little bit thicker. And it's a nice snug fit, so I just line that up. The screw head goes through. Then I bring it in and latch it on the other side and then push down on the hose and it slides right in. And it's really nice and tight, no wobble, no rattle. Now finally the seat it has those little rubber bumpers that are lining up with the subframe, and now it actually sits on those for the most part, at least in the section where I sit. And it's still relatively easy to take it off. It's no hassle. Like I said, you just push your little release button, lift it up, and then lift up the other side. And now finally I can take the seat bench and move it over to the side. And then I can work on the battery. I can work on, take my toolbox out, do other stuff. I'm still working on this latching mechanism. It's not fully restored. The latching mechanism itself as a replacement part costs like $90. So I have like 2 latching mechanisms and both are damaged, and I used the best parts, lubricated it up, bent it all straight, and put some new screws and the back cover is $12 or something like this. So I put it back together, but I think my lock here is still not installed correctly. So I'm working on that. But just my little seat modification here kind of makes me happy. Stainless steel screw, German fuel line, lining up, click and push. And we have a latched, locked seat. And the hinges, I think they were also a tad too high. So the seat was always a little higher here on the right side of the bike. So it was always tipped over a little bit. And yeah, apparently then most of the weight sits on the hinges and those little hinge pins. Now it's just sitting on the frame and it's not going anywhere, and it's locked. And yeah, you can't really pull it out. I made the bolt long enough and the piece of hose long enough that there is just no way that you can lift it up from the other side. So yeah, this is my little version of this modification. I learned that from someone else. So whoever came up with this idea initially, I give full credit. And if you just so happen to have the same type of aftermarket seat that has those weird hinges, I guess the hinges might be more solid than the originals. They're thicker, they're kind of stamped plate, but it's just not really great, you know. Always sitting here and then it falls on your hand while you're taking something out of your toolbox, and the seat was never really straight. And now I'm much happier with it. So now I'm actually happy that I bought this seat bench from Germany. All right, guys, I'm starting to ramble. You get the idea. If you like it, do it yourself. If you don't, still give me a thumbs up and subscribe, and I'm going to come up with some other silly things. All right, you guys take care. Bye.